We live in a colorful world out there, and just about nowadays, everything is seen on a spectrum. It makes sense for autism, and it makes sense for quite a few other things. But we have to remember, especially in Hanukkah, where we're lighting candles to shine some real light and to show some real clarity, that there is objective black and there is objective white. There is a gray area in between, but of course, it's rooted in one side and the other. Sometimes it's not a spectrum, but it's a ladder. Let me make an example. Obviously, the most clear example we have recently is October 7th, 2024, when over 3,000 Palestinians from Hamas entered into Israel and slaughtered viciously in a horrible acts of injustice over 1,400 Israelis and injured quite a few others. That led to a war that we're facing right now that unfortunately is endangering the lives of millions of innocent civilians. But let's look at what's being said now in Hamas's territory in Gaza. If you listen beyond the media's hype and you listen beyond the messages that are being put out by Hamas, the lies, you can hear some of the innocent civilians not blaming Israel, but blaming their leaders, blaming Hamas. Because while they're in schools and hospitals, Hamas is underground, burrowing away, using them as their shields. They're not happy with this. They don't want to be living under this oppression of Hamas. There is an objective black and there is an objective white, a good and an evil. And they can recognize that if we help them discern it. This is true for everything in our life. The problem is, once we start rationalizing for bad and rationalizing against the good, you start to live in a gray area trying to see the world as a spectrum. Unfortunately, what that does is it confuses everything. Hanukkah is about seeing the purity, the light. We use the oil to light the candles. The oil which burned for 8 days longer than it should have, represents the purest of substances. It represents purity. Of course, when you put oil on water, it floats to the top. It represents that we rise above it. We see the true good. We see the truth. And of course, it's not always so simple to see that. But when you boil it down and you focus on what's really good and what you focus on what's really bad, the gray can become a lot less murky. That is the truth. That's the true way to live in a real world of color. So I wish you success on this Hanukkah, to see beyond the gray, to live in a world of truth, to live in a world of reality, and to understand that evil is evil. And the rationalizations for evil are just rationalizing for more murkiness, whereas the other way is true, rationalizing for good and bringing the good and sharing the true light, what's really good, when you can objectively see it. That's how you bring the light into the world. So do it. Happy Hanukkah. Bring that light and smile and just do what's right. But be objective about it. There is black and white.